Hi, I'm Casper. I'm a test expert here at Incida, and today I want to go through the basics of how to create a test procedure. So if you're new to SAFe and you want to start making your first test procedure, this is the video for you. I will go through the typical things that you can do in a test procedure, what tools you can utilize, and some tips and tricks to how I usually do my test procedures. So the first thing that you're going to do is that you're going to go to test steps. This is where you find your test procedure. And here we have a blank one. There's nothing here. So naturally what we want to do first is add a step. Now there are multiple different kinds of steps that you can use within a test procedure. The most common one is the add basic step. You can also add some sections, special steps. You can duplicate an existing step. We have what is called conditional steps and also operator required steps. But let's firstly take a basic step. A step on its own pretty much does nothing. We have a measurement time that we can set. We can toggle the step on and off, and we can give it a description. My first step. To utilize a step, we're going to add a track to the step. And tracks is the different things that you can do with a step. It could be data log from specific equipment. It can be log the date, clock time, open a file, do something with your variables, do something with that interacts with your operator, and a bunch of other things. But just for the simplicity of it, let's just log the date. Now my step runs for 5 seconds, and the only thing it does is that when the steps start, we log the date. Now a test procedure is usually not only one step, so of course we can add all the different steps that we want. And then within these steps, let's just say that we want to write a text, and that text is test report. Now we have 2 steps, one that runs for 5 seconds and one that runs for a single second. Now these outputs you will find in your data processing, which we'll cover in another video. So let's just jump right back into our test procedure. Now in these steps we can also use equipment specific tracks. So that is, for example, log data from our Modbus, log data from our sensor. It could be a microphone, a pressure sensor, voltage probe. And this we can do for 1 sensor, 30 sensors, basically what you want to data log. Now the other thing that we can use that is very much used in a test is what we call operator required steps. So operator required steps are steps that interact with the test operator. So it could be as simply as a message box that says press start on the machine, and then that would, when you reach this step in your test procedure, it would pop up with press start on the machine. Or it could be, let's have a metadata. It could be that you want your operator to key in the metadata step. So here we have the first thing that happens is that we want the operator to write our serial number. We want the operator to press start on the machine, and then we have some automated steps that in this case logs the date and then logs the text test report. So let's just try and run it. We press start, 001, press start on the machine. We run for 5 seconds. We can see it down here. And then we output our text. Now this is the basics of how to create a test procedure. Now a quick tip for what I usually do to keep everything neatly is to use what we call sections. Now sections is a section that can hold multiple steps. So let's say this is the start of test section. I can then move these things into my section, and then we can create another section. Let's say that you would usually have a specific test in your procedure. Let's say IO test. And then we would move every step that has something with our IO test in this section as such. So now we can clearly see the procedure of our test. Now quickly, we also have what we call conditional steps, which is you can repeat a certain number of times. We can repeat while a test case is maybe not passed, and we can jump over different steps. We have a lot of different opportunities within saves. But this was the basics of how to create your test procedure, and I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you again in the next video.